guys, welcome to today's video and welcome on into my beauty stash. It is that time of the year where you are going to see a lot of ranking videos, and I think this week I'm going to be focusing on my worst list. And starting today, we are going to do the top 10 worst foundations that I tried, me personally, here in my stash of 2023. Now, I want to preface this video with I am 41 years old, normal to oily skin. I like a good medium to full coverage foundation, but I try anything and everything. I am a certified foundation junkie. Foundation reviews are honestly probably my most favorite thing to do here on my channel. So if you like that, you are definitely in the right place. I try from drugstore all the way to, I dabble in luxury. I mean, not too luxurious, luxury within reason, and of course, everything in between. If it is your first time here on my channel, I just want to say hello and welcome to all of you. My name is Steph, and clearly I love makeup. I love foundation reviews, concealer reviews. I do multiple looks with eyeshadow palettes, makeup ranking videos, which you're watching today. If that sounds great to you, I want to invite you to become part of our makeup family. Do me a favor, click on that subscribe button and hit the bell next to it. That way you'll be notified every time I do drop a new video. And if you are a foundation junkie just like me and you want to see what made my worst list for 2023, please give this video a big thumbs up before you go. As usual, I have all of the makeup that I'm wearing, minus, I don't think I need to list these foundations or link them because I don't think any of you are going to want to buy them. But you know what? I'll have them all. Everything will be linked and listed in the description box. Some of those links might be affiliate links, so if you do end up shopping through them, thank you so much for supporting me and my channel. All right, guys, let's get started. If y'all want to see what made my worst foundations of 2023 list, keep on watching. Now, a couple of these foundations I don't have simply because I returned them because they were expensive and I was just gonna waste money by keeping them there. So I think there are two or three foundations that I no longer have. But let's start with number 10. Number 10 comes to us from Tarte, and this is and my bottle is all dirty, how embarrassing. This is the Tarte Maracuja Juicy Glow foundation. So this is more along the lines of a skin tint. I have the shade 16N, which is Fair Light Neutral. Normally, this is usually the shade I go with, or I go with like 14N, but there was no 14N, so I went up to 16. That was a mistake because this foundation is just too dark for me. So this is what it looks like. I'll swatch them all for you guys. So that's what it looks like. If you really love a glowy foundation, and I love to glow, I like to have a nice glow to my complexion, this is going to be for you. But if you are full on oily, definitely stay clear of this one. So this really makes your skin glow. It's lightweight. It doesn't break apart too bad. And I say that because usually when your oil starts to come through, that's when cakiness can start coming out and makeup can start separating and such. This one doesn't do that too much. It's just too much glow. Like me with my normal to oily skin, oily primarily in the T-zone, I look like an oil slick a few hours after applying this. Even when I pair it with my favorite setting powder, it's a little too glowy. For me, I like mixing this with a super matte foundation. I find that it just pairs better that way. Or if I need to maybe darken up a foundation and I want it to have a nice glow, then I'll use this. But to be honest, I haven't really been reaching for it this year. I tried it more towards the beginning of 2023 and it's kind of just been hanging around. I'm not going to part with it just yet. I'm still going to use it as like a mixing medium, but for me as a full-on foundation, I can't really wear this. So unless you are of a dry skin type, I honestly don't think this is going to be for you. Coming in at number 9 is a foundation that I think was my first foundation review of 2023, and that comes to us from Juvia's Place. So this is the Juvia's I Am Magic Natural Radiance Foundation. This is very thick. I don't feel like this is a lightweight foundation. I think it's lighter weight than their original I Am Magic foundation, but this is super full coverage. And I know some people have said, no, it's medium coverage. I think it's full coverage. Maybe that's just because I apply too much. I don't know. But I've tried to shear this out, and this will get me a good 5 hours, six if I'm lucky, and that's it. And I need my foundation to get me now more so 10, 11 hours of wear. Now with my new job, I'm having later days than I was when I was a teacher. So I really need my foundation to hang in there with me and to look good. This is good for like a night out when I'm only going to be wearing it for a few hours. Um, I don't know that it's that radiant either. I think this is definitely more of like just a natural finish. And then once you powder it down, you can achieve a more mattifying effect. It's not it's not my favorite. And I don't think I have a favorite Juvia's Place foundation. I think if I'm going to pick like a best Juvia's Place foundation, I would actually pick their powder foundation, which came out around the same time as this one. So if you're looking for a good powder foundation, that is going to give you really good coverage, and it's affordable. Juvia's Place, you know, their products range from like what, $7 to $25, like when it comes to complexion and stuff. I want to say this one comes in around $20, $22, but they are always having sales, not just on their website, but also at Ulta. Let me know what you think about this one. I feel like this is hit or miss for some of you. Also, there is a very strong fragrance with this one. And this fragrance, let's just put it this way. I distinctly remember when I was wearing this, I believe it was on day 2. I remember driving to work when I had a longer commute, and I could still smell this on my face by the time I got to work. And you're talking about a good maybe 45 minutes from the time I applied it to the time I got to work. Yeah, for it to have a fragrance that lingers that long, this might be something you want to stay clear of, especially if you are sensitive to fragrance in your makeup products. Coming in, unfortunately, at number 8 is one of two products that I have from this brand, and I had really high expectations for this, but it just fell short for me. And this is from Ritual Defy. This is their 3-drop weightless foundation. You literally only need 3 drops to cover your entire face. This is and you know what? I forgot to swatch. I'll swatch the Juvia's Place one right now. I forgot to do that. But this one right here, it's a very, very runny consistency. This one, there you go. This one I have in the shade, what shade do I have in this one? Oh gosh, don't tell me it's not gonna say. Don't know what shade I have in this one. Guys, I'm gonna have my foundation playlist linked in a pinned comment. Oh, Potion number 115. That is the shade I have. And you can see it is too dark for me. But also this foundation, like the Juvia's Place one, which I'm gonna swatch, and I have shade Bali in this one. Um, it's only gonna get me a good 5, 6 hours at best. The Juvia's Place is definitely a better skin match for me than this one from Ritual Defy. So Juvia's Ritual, totally different. Totally different foundations. If I was going to choose between the two, I would definitely go for the Juvia's Place. But I had really high expectations for this one. This is definitely more along the lines of like a serum based foundation, but it just doesn't last. It breaks apart. Once my oil starts to come through, it just looks like a hot, cakey mess, and it does not last the 10 hours minimum that I need it to last. This is just one of those foundations that I'll have to wear in the summer because it is too dark. And one that I'll only use just, you know, if I'm going to be out for a few hours, but that's not too often. Usually, if I'm heading out, I'm usually maybe keeping the same base and maybe just touching up my eye look, whatnot. I'm getting home from work right now, and it's been about maybe 11 hours that I've had this face of makeup on, and I really didn't have to do much for it. I'm using the new CoverGirl, still trying this one out, the CoverGirl Simply Ageless Skin Perfector Essence. But this foundation from Ritual Defy just didn't meet my expectations. I had such high hopes for it and it just fell short. And I'm sad by that because I want to try more from the brand. I thought that this was going to work out a little bit better for me than what it did. But let me know your thoughts on this one. Let me know if you picked it up. Maybe if you have drier skin, maybe this one is working best for you. But for me and my normal to oily skin, this just didn't work out. So coming in at number 7, we have the latest foundation, or the only foundation, I should say, from REM Beauty. REM Beauty is Ariana Grande's brand. And this is what was the name of this foundation? I forget the full name of it. I have shade Fair 5W. There are about 50 or 60 shades in this foundation, and I just wore this one recently. I wore it like a couple weeks ago, and it just didn't look great. That's the shade. The shade is actually pretty good on me. Um, the foundation, though, is definitely hit or miss. It's not consistent. This is also a foundation that I feel like I can only get a few hours of wear before it starts to go south and start looking like a hot, cakey mess. Other than the shade and the coverage, I think this is a very skippable foundation. What I do recommend that you try from REM as far as complexion products go is their concealer, the sweetener concealer. It comes in a little pot. I believe I have shade 2N. That is a really good shade match for me. I've worn that as foundation and it does a fantastic job. It does a better job than the actual foundation does. So I would skip out on this one, grab the concealer, and let me know what you think. So coming in the number 6 spot is unfortunately from one of my favorite drugstore brands, Essence. And this is their Keep Me Covered Long Lasting Foundation. This foundation, no, it's like the concealer, the sister concealer to this one. It doesn't hold up. Like it performs, I hate to say it, like a cheap foundation performs. There it is. The shade is not bad. The shade that I have in this one, oh, this one is not going to have the shade name on it. I remember looking for it and I think it was on the sticker that came on it and that got thrown away a long time ago. But I want to say this could be porcelain or it could be ivory. In either case, I hardly reach for this one. I will likely be decluttering this foundation really soon. This just doesn't last and it breaks apart. It doesn't look that great. Sometimes with the powder or the primer that I pair with it, it looks even worse. I've tried a lot of things from Essence in general. I love the majority of their products, but so far, foundation and concealer, I feel like they've fallen short of. Definitely their sister brand, Catrice, has much better complexion products like foundation and concealer, primer as well. Although there is one Essence primer that it's like a holy grail primer. It's their Serum Glow Primer, the one that's a dupe for the Glow Recipe Watermelon Niacinamide Dewdrops. The Essence version, so good. Like I could use that every day. That could be my only primer for the rest of my life and I would be happy. It's only like $5 or $6 as well. But their foundation, not so much. Not so much. And I've tried a couple of their foundations in the past and they just don't do it for me. If you're gonna want affordability and you want to stay like in the Essence Catrice line, definitely look towards Catrice because Catrice makes some amazing foundations and they are all about $10 to $12. You can't beat it. Coming in at number 5 is the foundation I tried I think a couple months ago, also from one of my favorite affordable brands, and this comes to us unfortunately from Moira. This is their Complete Wear Soft Matte Foundation. The shade I have in this one is 150W. Now this does come in a frosted glass bottle, so the packaging is really nice on this one, and also the shade. The shade is a pretty good shade match for me as well. What I don't like about this foundation is, again, it just doesn't last. It is a medium coverage foundation. It does give like a natural glow, natural finish, but it just breaks apart and it looks cakey. Now, this is I guess, more radiant version of their matte foundation. They have a matte full coverage foundation. It has a black cap on it. That one I definitely recommend. That one is a great foundation. It looks good for a solid 10 hours. This one started to go south around the 5, 6 hour mark. So I do not recommend checking this out, but I do recommend checking out Moira in general. I love their setting powder. This is the one I have on today. This is their Set and Correct Loose Setting Powder in the shade 05 Rose Pink, and you can see it's a tricolor there. This is really good. Moira has some good concealers as well. They have a pretty good powder foundation. They have some really nice eyeshadow palettes. I do have a Moira playlist, so if you want to check that out, you can see all of the Moira videos that I've done. But I like to do Moira hauls at least twice a year. I feel for me, and I've always said this whenever I talk about the brand, for me, Moira is the new BH Cosmetics. They have like the complete package the way BH Cosmetics did. I loved the BH Cosmetics foundation. There was just so much other stuff from BH Cosmetics that I enjoyed aside from their eyeshadow palettes, and that's how I feel about Moira. Unfortunately, not about this foundation. This one is an easy pass. All right, so coming in at number 4 is unfortunately from Laura Geller, and this is one of her, or her only liquid foundation. Laura Geller as a brand is known more for her baked powder products, and this is what the applicator looks like. This is definitely not my shade. Oh my goodness, look at how orange that is. This is the, and I don't have the full name. Oh my gosh, this doesn't even have a stick. Everything fell off. Wow, I tried this in the spring. I'm pretty sure I tried this in the spring of this year. I'm sorry, I don't know what shade it is, but if you look at my foundation playlist, you will definitely see a 2-day 10-hour wear test over this one. The shade range was terrible. This shade range was awful. I think there was only like 9 shades, and this is more of a medium to full coverage. It's not a skin tint, so the shades are not going to be that forgiving. And for a big brand like Laura Geller, she's very popular on QVC. That's how I came to know Laura Geller as a brand. I think they're going to need to do a lot better than just 9 shades. And her baked formula, amazing, awesome. That formula, I can see when it comes to the foundation that it can be forgiving shade wise, but when you come down to liquid, especially a liquid that's going to have a more fuller coverage, you really need to be a little more spot on with your foundation shade range. I mean, at least 25, 30 different shades. With this one, that is one of the reasons why I am ranking it so low, just because they don't have enough shades in the very, very light and in the very, very deep. They're more just like midtones, and in 2023 going into 2024, we cannot have that. So coming in at number 3 is a foundation some of you might be shocked to see on this list because it might be one of your favorites, but for me, I feel like this is just way overpriced for what it is, and that's why I'm putting it in the number 3 spot, and I'm talking about Gucci. This was my very first Gucci Beauty purchase. Actually, no, I don't have anything from Gucci at all. I don't own anything. I don't own any Gucci products. I think I had maybe a perfume, and that was it. And I didn't even like it. I gave it away. But this is their, and I'm not going to know how to pronounce it, but this is their 24-hour breathable foundation, luminous matte foundation. The shade that I have in this one is shade 1 Fair 130W. Again, frosted glass bottle. Packaging, you know, it's beautiful. It's Gucci. It better be beautiful, right? This is a foundation, good shade match for me, but it's a foundation where I'm only going to be able to get 6-7 hours at best, and then it starts to get all cakey and it looks not that great. This is going to be a good medium, bordering mildly full coverage, depending on how you build it up and what concealer you pair with it. You know, it's a nice finish. It's a nice product, but for what? 70 some odd dollars, I think is what it costs, or the high 60s. It better last 10 hours. It better look good for 10 hours. And this one on my normal to oily skin, it doesn't. It doesn't. And so, you know, for what I paid and what I thought I was going to get, I guess I thought I was going to get magic in a bottle. And no, I did not get that. Let me know your thoughts on this one because I am very curious. Those of you who bought it when it was initially released, you had quite some time to try it already. Do you feel the same as me? Sound off in the comments. All right, guys, so these next two I'm going to scoot over because these are the two that I had to return just because they were a hot mess and I was not going to keep them and just waste my money like that. Coming in at number 2, unfortunately, is from Smashbox, and this is the Always On. I don't have the picture in front of me, but the Always On foundation. It is their latest foundation. This got released alongside their all-in-one or 4-in-1 pen Halo Glow or Halo something pen concealer. Concealer is great. I've really been enjoying that. This foundation is a hot mess. It is cakey. It does not apply well. It was just awful. And that's because there are quite a few Smashbox products that I really do enjoy. This is definitely not one of them. I would save your money because this is bordering on $50 if it's not $52. I don't remember what the cost was. I think I got this one off of the Ulta website. Or no, I bought this in person. Yeah, I bought this in store at Ulta and I did return it because I was never going to wear it. It just looked awful on me. It accentuated all of my pores, whatever little I mean, I don't have a lot of texture on my skin, but it found little pieces of texture that I didn't even know I had, and it clung to it, and it didn't look good. It was not my friend. The concealer is way better. Stick to that. What I will recommend from Smashbox foundation wise is their Halo Glow Tinted Moisturizer. That is aces. And then the Coordinating Pen Concealer, those two together, fabulous. And then they have another foundation, and I forget the name of it. I'm going to put a picture of it here. This one has worked out really well. I no longer have it in my stash because I decluttered it due to age, but I should probably repurchase it because this one did work out really well for me. The one that I just mentioned, the Always On, no, stay clear of that one. And finally, the worst of the worst for 2023 when it comes to foundations in my stash. This was hard. This was hard because I did not expect this foundation to be in the position that it's at. I thought this was going to be on my top 10 list, and oh no, it's nowhere near that. Unfortunately, it comes to us from Estee Lauder. This is the Futurist Skin Tint. This didn't do anything. I didn't have coverage. It didn't do a darn thing for my skin, but make it look cakey and ugly, accentuate texture, settle into fine lines and pores. It was just, ugh, it was no. I think also what attributed to me not liking it was that the shade was just a little too light for me. It was a lot too light for me, if that's a thing. I'm very fair to begin with. But yeah, no, this was a hot mess. Like the epitome of the words hot mess. And I wasn't expecting this at all because I love the Estee Lauder Futurist Hydra Rescue Foundation. That is in my top 10 list. Always. That's always going to be a foundation that I recommend. And to have this skin tint perform so poorly, I know some of you have told me that you've mildly gotten this to work for you, but it's a process. And I don't want my makeup to have to, or just to work certain ways with certain products. I want my makeup to work regardless, whether I wear it with primer or not, whether I wear it with setting spray or not. I'm always going to wear it with powder just because I am normal to oily, but makeup should just work. You shouldn't have to work at it. The products that you put on your face and you spend your hard-earned money on, they should work no matter what. And if you have to tweak a 50 some odd dollar foundation, that is a red flag letting you know that that is probably not the foundation for you and your money can be best spent elsewhere. All right, guys, so that wraps up this worst foundations of 2023 top 10 list. Those were 10, unfortunately, awful foundations that found their way into my stash. Some I will be decluttering before year's end, but I had to share them with you before I officially got rid of them. I want to hear from you all now. What were some of your dud foundations that you tried? All of these foundations were foundations that were released in 2023, if not bordering on 22, 23, because I think the Juvia's Place came out like towards like the last week of 22, but I didn't get to try it and upload the video until early 2023. So with that exception, I'm pretty sure all of them were released this year. So let me know what your worst foundations of the year were. I am excited to read your comments, and stay tuned because after Christmas, we're going to leave the good stuff. We're going to leave the good stuff to after Christmas. We'll get the bad stuff out of the way now this week, but I'm most definitely going to be ranking, concealers, of course, eyeshadow palettes. Some of you have asked me to rank all of the eyeshadow palettes that I tried in 2023. I am so sorry. I can't do that, guys. I don't have time to devote to that type of a video right now with my new job. But you will get a 10 best and a 10 worst. You'll get those two videos from me regarding eyeshadow palettes. And I will try to include other products that I tried, like blushes, bronzers, highlighters. Maybe I can put that all in one video. We'll see. But you're going to see a lot of ranking videos from me these next couple weeks, and I hope you really enjoy them. I want to thank you guys so much for watching another one of my videos. Y'all have a great day or night wherever it is you all are at. Stay hydrated, drink that water, and I'm going to see you all very soon. Bye.